In today's show, we're looking ahead to Thursday's action in the NBA, streaming options, and what to watch in the games. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_Beeble and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Only 3 games on Thursday, so we're just going to smash through this what to watch for with those 3 games. We're going to talk streaming as well. But let's have a look at the first one. It should be a pretty good game. The Jazz and the Sixers, Rudy Gobert versus Joel Embiid. Is that what I'm watching for? Yeah, it is, I guess, in the larger sense of things. But from a more fantasy perspective, I want to see Rudy Gay. Do they play him on the back-to-back? This is a back-to-back for Utah. Does he play? How does he continue to impact guys like Jordan Clarkson coming off that bench? Gay's going to be an interesting streamer for this day because there's only 6 teams playing. But he's more of a 16-team league guy longer term. And then Mike Conley. He played in the last back-to-back for the Jazz. They were in the middle of a losing streak there, so I guess they felt they had to play him to try and get back on track. They are back on track at the moment. Does Conley play in this back-to-back? If he is out, then Joe Ingles will start, and that boosts the value of Ingles. It boosts the value of Clarkson. We'll probably get some Trent Forrest minutes for those of you in like 20-team leagues. It boosts the value of Rudy Gay as well. So watching to see whether Conley plays, I think is really interesting. And then, the impact that then has on someone like on a Joe Ingles in particular, who does get some 12-team value. For the Sixers, Embiid, it is a back-to-back. I do expect him to play. He's been playing pretty well at the moment. So let's see how he goes here. He's had some pretty interesting battles with Gobert over the past few seasons. And then Seth Curry, who's been playing well. Last game wasn't too good. I'm recording this before Wednesday's action against the Hornets. Seth remains a 12-team league guy, but with Maxey back, that is going to have somewhat of an impact. And he has been shooting at almost an historic level from 2-point range, let alone 3-point range. So just watching Seth and the shooting numbers for him, I think is pretty important for fantasy. Remains a 12-team league guy, though. The Lakers and the Grizzlies. Malik Monk has been very up and down for the Lakers. Will they continue to start Avery Bradley? It appears that they will, which is nonsense. But him getting back into the rotation and taking those 26 minutes meant that Malik went from 30 down to like 20. Now, if Malik Monk's a 30-minute player, then he is a 12-team league option, and he is at least a streamer for Thursday's action. But watching how they utilize him alongside Allington and alongside Bradley is going to give us more indications about whether he can be held longer term in 12s. I don't think he will. And then what they do with Dwight Howard. Will they start Anthony Davis at center matching up against Steven Adams? Will they go back big and put Howard and Davis together and bring Bradley off the bench, which is great news for Malik Monk if they do that? There are a couple of options that Frank Vogel can go for. So watching Howard's minutes, watching the lineup, is Howard a stream? Probably is. Given, again, the strength of Steven Adams, I reckon they might try and chuck Dwight Howard out there just to go easy on Anthony Davis, which is apparently the number one priority, not winning games. For the Grizzlies, Desmond Bane has been dominating at the moment, putting up high usage, high efficiency. It is really helpful for him that Ja Morant is out because he is getting a lot of those shots, and we're making the most of it. But he is a bit of a sell high in fantasy, but I'm expecting another good game. I've loved what I've seen from Baney this year. And then Steve Adams put up a big performance against the Heat. I'm not convinced that that's going to be what Adams does every night. He played like 31 minutes and grabbed 16 or 17 boards in that game. That's not a likely outcome for Steve Adams on most nights. But watching him, how much they play him, I think is really interesting. And stream option for sure, given the nature of the day. But long term, I don't think he's a 12-team league guy. The Nuggets and the Spurs rounds out the day. So we're going to watch the big stiffy, Bones Highland, who should be returning to action on Wednesday with getting out of the health and safety protocols. They need him. They need that high usage scoring guard off the bench, and with Austin Rivers, on the verge of returning from COVID, but more the absences of Dozier and Murray and Porter, Highland's required. And if he can work his way into a 27-minute-a-night role, which maybe is a stretch, but they need it, So it's possible he is a 12-team league guy in that scenario. And then also watching Zeke Naji, who's had some good games, some stinkers. What does his role look like? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 15? Is it 24 minutes? Does he eventually impact Jeff Green's playing time? Naji needs to show more consistency. He's shooting the 3-ball exceedingly well. Can he continue to do that? And how he fits in the rotation is probably the biggest factor there. Well, for the Spurs, I want to watch what they do with Josh Primo. He is in the rotation at the moment. Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson are out. Can he push over 20 minutes? Can he maintain a longer-term role in the rotation? So watching Primo here is interesting. And then with Keldon out, do they go back and play Thad Young? Young was out of the rotation last game for the Spurs. I imagine they start Keita Bates-Diop in place of Keldon Johnson. But I don't know that because Bates-Diop replaced McDermott last time and Johnson's been playing the 3. There's no option to put Vassell at the 3. So do they start Lonnie Walker? What does that mean for that rotation? Can Thad play the 4 at all? He's almost exclusively been playing the 5. Some minutes at the 4. There is an opportunity for Thad there. So maybe he's a streamer or maybe we're streaming Lonnie Walker in this situation. So they're the major things that I'm going to be watching for with the San Antonio Spurs. What a beautiful sound that is. You know what that sound is? That is the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. In case you didn't know, Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage a business. The subscription-based software also allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. Shopify store owners can also sell in physical locations using Shopify POS, our point-of-sale app, and accompanying hardware. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility, and Shopify helps make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed from down the street to around the globe. Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses from first sale to full scale, reaching customers online and across social networks. So go to shopify.com/lockedonnba, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get free access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba right now. Shopify.com/lockedonnba. TrueBill, you know what it is. We've got so many subscriptions that we can't keep track of it. And they're hard to cancel. TrueBill's here to help you. They can help you identify and stop paying for the subscriptions that you don't want, the ones that you don't need, and the ones that you've also forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with TrueBill. And because companies make it incredibly difficult to cancel subscriptions, TrueBill is here to make it easy. Just link your accounts and TrueBill will cancel all of your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And your TrueBill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions so you don't have to. TrueBill has over 2 million users and has helped save them over $100 million. So don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/lockedonnba. Go right now. That's truebill.com/lockedonnba. It could save you thousands a year. truebill.com/lockedonnba. Let's look at some stream options now for the back-to-back. The only team with this back-to-back on Thursday, Friday is the Los Angeles Lakers. So we've got a couple of stream options there. Talen Horton-Tucker stands out. He will probably start both games. Might give you 50, 55 minutes worth of action. He can be inconsistent, but the 2 games is great. Dwight Howard. There's some stream options there for him Thursday, Friday. Not great because of the lower minutes potential, but again, 2 games versus 1 game of a spot off the wire, maybe. And then the Duke, Wayne Ellington, another guy that plays 2 games. Again, you might get 45 minutes, 40 minutes out of him. You might get 6 triples, 5 triples, 4 triples. It's still not bad as an option to get 2 games for the price of 1. But our back-to-back stream options are pretty limited by the way the schedule is set out. Just looking for guys to stream in for Thursday. You got Facu Campazzo in Denver, who will be an assist, steals, and threes guy. Jingling Joe Ingles, with the assumption that Mike Conley's out. You probably stream him anyway, but his value does skyrocket if Conley sits. Lonnie Walker, who is a chance to start in place of Keldon Johnson. I don't think Lonnie's a great fantasy player, but this is an opportunity, especially in points leagues. Talen Horton-Tucker, just talked about him. Jeff Green, the starting power forward for the Nuggets. He probably is worth a stream in most 12s anyway, and this is the great opportunity to get him in. Rudy Gay, an option to stream in. The big stiffy, Bones Highland, I'd stream him and then hold and see how that works. And then Dougie McDirt as well, who'll get his 25, 26 minutes, score double digits, have 2 to 3 threes. That's useful enough on a game where there are only 3, on a day where there are only 3 games on. For deeper formats, Campazzo and Gay. These guys are rostered in under 10% of leagues. So is Big Stiffy. Bryn Forbes is another one. Cater Bates, Diop, and Drew Eubanks, all for the Spurs. They're all rostered in basically no leagues, and there's minutes there. Like Forbes, he might play 20 minutes with the absence of Keldon and Vassell. Zeke Naji's a deeper league stream also, as is the Duke himself, Wayne Allington, with a 20-minute or so role coming off that bench. For points leagues, we're looking at... These guys are all rostered in under 50% of leagues, if you believe it, and they shouldn't be. So Tyus Jones is a must-roster player, but stream him in at the very least. Lonnie Walker, he's not a must-roster. Taylor Horton-Tucker, Rudy Gay, Bones Highland, Facu Campazzo, also a points league streamer. Jeff Green, probably worth an ad in 12 points anyway. And Jingle and Joe Ingles gets an opportunity on the Thursday with the low volume of games that you can go and add him. Before we do get out of here, I'm going to tell you about Stance, because I got some Stance socks recently. Unbelievable stuff. I got the little running ones. I love them. I love little socks for a start, but the comfort on those, the cushioning on the bottom of your foot. You've heard about Stance before and you go, this is bullshit. Like, really? Are they that good? Yes. Yes, they are. Stance was founded in 2009 as an apparel company representing a radical reinvention of socks, underwear, and active apparel. With a sharp focus on comfort, quality, and creativity, Stance brings an atypical aesthetic along with some of pop culture's hottest collaborators for the ultimate in style and self-expression. Because everything you wear should be a direct extension of who you are and how you feel. I've got some Stance Star Wars socks for my son. I got my partner got some Jimi Hendrix ones. I got some Dennis Rodman ones. I love all of the different collaborations that are out there. They're super soft. They're unbelievably cushioned and comfortable. I love my Stance socks. Stance believes the perfect fit matters more than fitting in. Those that feel good, do good. So go see for yourself. Register for an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use the promo code LOCKEDON at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Guys, go and follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, share, comment, tell all your friends. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.